Peyton had right calf that cramped up on him, but other than that, he came back in and did a nice job there. Thank you to the fans. There was a lot of red in the stands, and we sure appreciate the support.
When the Kansas City Chiefs play the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte, North Carolina, on Sunday, November 24th, Travis Kelce will have another milestone to add to his list of accomplishments. After catching a ball from quarterback Patrick Mahomes, the 35-year-old tight end gained 19 yards. Kelce became the tight end with the third most receiving yards in NFL history, surpassing veteran Antonio Gates of the Los Angeles Chargers. Gates had 11,841 receiving yards, while Kelce now has 11,854 yards. With 13,046 yards and 15,127 yards, respectively, Dallas Cowboys tight end Jason Witten and former Chiefs player Tony Gonzalez are the only two NFL tight ends with more receiving yards than Kelce. In addition to his many other NFL records, Kelce recorded 1,416 receiving yards in 2020, which was the most by a tight end in a single season. Additionally, he reached 10,000 receiving yards more quickly than any other athlete in history. For the previous 7 seasons, the game show presenter has won the title of tight end with the most receiving yards, and he also owns the record for the most seasons overall. Even while Kelce still needs a few thousand receiving yards to break Gonzalez's record, he defeated the former Falcons player to win another championship, the Chiefs' longest pass-catching streak, which lasted 158 games. The sportsman acknowledged that despite his most recent success, he didn't feel like he gave his best effort during Kansas City's Sunday, November 17th loss to the Buffalo Bills. As he recapped their 21-30 loss on the November 20th episode of his podcast New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce, the NFL star vented his fury. Every time the Chiefs play the greatest teams in the NFL, such as the Bills, who are now leading the AFC East with a 9-2 record, the tight end told his brother, Jason Kelce, that he feels energized. In reference to the game against the Bills, Travis stated, "I was fired up for this one." But he also acknowledged that he didn't play to his full potential, which annoyed him. As a result, he resolved to put in extra effort on Monday after the game to make amends. "In my opinion, this is something that you won't see from us again," he added. "Many of these issues are easily resolved, and I have complete faith in this staff." He also mentioned that the Chiefs improved to 10-1 after defeating the Buffalo Bills last week, ending any aspirations of a perfect season, and that Travis Kelce reached a personal milestone as Kansas City continues to get closer to their season's major goal, a historic three-peat. With an early reception, he reached 11,854 career receiving yards, which is the third highest total of any tight end in NFL history. Only Jason Witten, with 13,046 yards, and Tony Gonzalez, with 15,127 yards, have more yards than Kelce, who has now surpassed the great Antonio Gates. On Sunday, Kelce was not given the opportunity to create franchise history, despite rising in that illustrious list. One more touchdown would put the 35-year-old in a tie with Gonzalez for the most receiving touchdowns in Chiefs history, with 77. He might have thought he had a chance to score against the Panthers, but it didn't work out. Noah Gray, a teammate and fellow tight end, scored 2 touchdowns instead. Additionally, he caught 2 touchdown passes in the game against the Bills last week. He made history by becoming the first tight end to record multiple receiving touchdowns in a single game since George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers in 2022 with yet another outstanding performance. Kelce will have to wait another week to make history in Kansas City because Mahomes is sharing the ball. This season, he has only found the end zone twice in the first 12 weeks and has not found the end zone as much as he would have liked. Individual accomplishments might have to take a back seat with a historic three-peat on the horizon, given he already scored 5 points this time last year on his way to the Super Bowl. Despite his reputation for having a strong arm, Patrick Mahomes' legs were the decisive factor in the Carolina Panthers' defeat on Sunday at Bank of America Stadium. Mahomes sprinted down the field for a 32-yard gain with less than a minute left in a tie game in Uptown Charlotte, which eventually allowed Kansas City Chiefs kicker Spencer Schrader to make a winning 31-yard field goal. Despite their 3-8 record, the Kansas City Wagon, 10-1, continued to churn with a 30-27 victory away from home against a Panthers club that is beginning to show indications of genuine potential. Despite a strong start from Panthers' second-year quarterback Bryce Young, Carolina was unable to score any touchdowns on its first 3 scoring drives. The Panthers fell behind early after trading field goals for scores with the Chiefs. Despite Carolina's playmakers' best efforts to catch up, including tying the game on the offense's final series, it was insufficient to upset the reigning 2-time Super Bowl champions. Before running down the throats of the Panthers' defenders, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid relied on their star quarterback in the passing game. That was a wise move because the Chiefs' defense maintained the advantage with a bend-but-don't-break mentality. It was good to watch the offense, especially Young, fight against a powerhouse, even if Kansas City was clearly the favorite. Even though it wasn't enough to win, Young and the offense displayed enough promise to be optimistic about their matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a similar environment the following week. The Panthers' grade in the Chiefs game is shown here. The passing attack of Bryce Young and the Panthers against the Chiefs, with an average of 177 passing yards per game going into Sunday's game. The Panthers were the second-worst team in the league going into Week 12. The Chiefs were pegged for 16th place in the NFL because they were giving up 222.2 passing yards per game. Young went to the air early and frequently to start the game. In the first 4 plays of the game, he threw a pass to Adam Thielen that was 8 yards in length, a strike to David Moore that was 15 yards in length, and a perfectly positioned 34-yard floater to Xavier Legette. On his way to the red zone, Young completed his first 4 throws of the game, but he was unable to get past center Cade May's false start penalty inside the 10-yard line. Young hit a wide-open Thielen for a 36-yard catch-and-run play in the second series, continuing to develop the passing game. In order to put the Panthers in the red zone, he also made a 12-yard gain with wide-out Devin Tompkins. Young started the game by leading a second straight field goal scoring drive, but he was unable to get in touch with anyone in the end zone. For 107 yards and 2 touchdown drives, Young completed 6 of his first 10 passes. By the end of the first half, at 14:42, he had already outperformed his performance against the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 2, which resulted in his controversial benching in Week 3. Mike Dana, the Chiefs' defensive end, fired Young on second down in the third series because he was unable to maintain the momentum. He quickly found rookie tight end Jatavian Sanders with a ball, but the Panthers were down 7 points in the middle of the second quarter and had a quick 3-and-out. In the first half, with 44 seconds remaining, Young and the offense recovered possession of the ball. To move the ball into Chiefs territory, rookie tight end Sanders made an incredible catch toward the sideline for a 28-yard gain. With 20 seconds remaining, the playmaker was hurt on the play, but Sanders later gained 11 yards on a completion to put Carolina on the 11-yard line. The Panthers, nevertheless, were unable to go to pay dirt. Young had a 55.6% completion rate and 177 throwing yards at the end of the first half. Young received only 1 dismissal and had an 89.4 passer rating. In the opening 2 quarters, Young was legitimately dropped on at least 2 passes. The first half saw 3 scoring drives led by him. Young had a string of spectacular passing plays to Legette and Moore to start the second half. The Panthers started the third quarter in scoring position after he completed 4 passes to Moore and Legette for a total of 44 yards. He completed the drive by throwing to Moore in the end zone for a score from 1 yard out. Throughout the fourth quarter, Young kept making progress. A field goal reduced the Chiefs' advantage to 8 points in the fourth quarter, but he led his 5th scoring drive of the game even if he was unable to replicate the touchdown success. Young and the offense did not score any points to match the defense's impressive performance in the fourth quarter. For an incompletion, a scrambling drill was used to cap a 3-and-out. With less than 3:30 remaining in the game, Young had one more chance to tie it. Legette missed a deep shot down the left sideline as Carolina got off to a close start around midway. Young returned for a 6-yard gain with Legette. Carolina finished 24th in the league with an average of 110 running yards in its first 10 games. But as Week 12 approached, the Chiefs were only giving up 85.3 rushing yards per game, good for 3rd place in the NFL. The Panthers abandoned the ground game early because Kansas City has been so effective against the run this season. The first half actually saw the Panthers running backs get just 3 carries for 7 yards. In his first NFL game, Rookie running back Jonathan Brooks made his debut during a 3-and-out drive in the middle of the second quarter and caught one pass for a 3-yard gain. In the third quarter, the Panthers' running offense took off after a lackluster first half. The ball went to Hubbard,